live session here from Inclusive Fashion. I'm Rose, and today we are going to make a real pattern using CLO 3D. So as you can see right here, I have this perfect sport bra that I own several. They are super comfortable, guys. So you can literally wear this sport bra to sleep, okay? So if I zoom in closely here, we have top stitches. So right here, this is zigzag top stitches, as well as over here we have overlock on this alongside of this neckband, as well as this armhole. All right, so right here, this bra is sport bra, but it's super comfortable. And right now I have this link right here. You can purchase the bra. Right now it's 34% off, and it's come with black color, come with kind of burgundy and a little bit of cream here. So I recommend wearing this bra because it's super comfortable if you like to work out, as well as wear it around the house. It's so cute. All right, so get back to making this bra into a real pattern. I have a guideline here including the measurement that we are going to use along the way while creating this bra in CLO. For example, I have bra length here 30 centimeter. I have bra circumference 17.5, and I have bra formulas as well as precise measurement to create this bra from top stitches and so on. Okay, so let's get to CLO and create this real bra pattern and turn it to a pattern that you can even print out and sew on your own if you want to. All right, so let's minimize this window for now, and I'm here in CLO. We are going to create this bra. Okay, so to create this bra, first I'm going to zoom in a little here, and I will use this rectangle tool, guys. It's super useful. Click on it to select, then click one on the page here. Okay, refer to the bra measurement here. So let's go back. So right here, bra length 30 centimeter and bra width here 17.5. Let's minimize that, and I'm going to type in here 17.5, and then press on the tab key, and here the length is 30. After that, I will click on OK here to confirm. Let's move the bra up here a little bit, guys. So next I'm going to create internal line. Simply use this edit pattern tool, click one right here to start. So we want to create 3 internal line from top, and then 4 internal line from center out. Okay, first we will create the internal line from top down. Click right there on the top part, right click, and we want to select offset as internal line. Okay, so by default I have number of offset is 4. I'm going to decrease that to 3. Okay, and then change the value. So we want to select distance individual, offset from selected line, and the first value here I'm going to type in 1.5. Okay, 1.5 is a part of the formula, okay? And the second value, I'm going to type in 12. So 12 is the back neck depth, and that is the measurement. And lastly, I'm going to type in here 17.5, and that is the bust line, okay? Next, I'm going to click on OK to confirm. By default, I have all the internal line are selected. I will hover the mouse on top of one of them, right click, and then select convert to baseline, just like that. Next, I'm going to click one right here on the center line right there, right click, and we want to create 4 internal lines. Okay, to create 4 internal line here, by default I have 3 internal line. I will increase one more to get 4, and I have distance is individual, offset from a selected line, which is perfect. Okay, this is a little bit different. The first value, we want to change that to 8.5. Okay, and then press on the tab key here, and then the second value, we'll change that to 10. And once again, press on the tab key and let's expand this window a little. Click and then drag it down. All right, so the third value, this is going to be shoulder length, okay? So 13.5, and then press on the tab key here to go to the next value. Lastly is 15. So 15 is a under bust circumference, okay? After that, I'm going to click on OK to confirm. Next, we'll convert them to baseline as well, just like that. And we want to log this baseline. Simply right click on the page and then select log all baseline. All right. After this, we want to draw the back pattern shape. To do that, it's so cool, guys. We will use the internal polygon slash line tool. Begin clicking one right here and then come over here. And over here, we want to click one right here on the shoulder length point and come down here, click on to the bust line and come down here, click on the under bust circumference line. This time we will click on twice to end the line. All right. Next, we want to turn this to curve as well as this. Before we're gonna do that though, we want to add one point right here. I will use this add point slash split line and click one right there to place the point, and we want to remove this point. This point is because in neck width, okay? We want to create the neck width from here to here. All right, next I'm going to use this edit pattern tool and click on this point here, right click, and we want to select the lead point, okay? Now we are safe to create curve for the neck and the armhole. All right, so the tip to create curve here, we want to use this edit curvature tool, okay? So you guys probably wonder how to create the perfect curve with just one drag, okay? So the tip here, we want to click on this roughly about 1/3 from the bottom up, okay? And then drag it down. So right here, click and then drag it down to create the perfect curve for the neck, right there. Just like that. Next, we want to create a perfect curve here for the armhole. Simply once again click on right here about 1/3, okay, from the bottom up, and then drag it down to create the perfect curve for the armhole. Just like that. One click, guys, we create the perfect curve for the armhole and for the neck. Next, we want to draw a front pattern shape. It's super easy, guys. We will use this edit pattern tool. Click one right here on this top right there, right click, and we want to create offset as internal line, and in this case we will change the value back to 1, okay, and then press on the tab key, and the value right here we will change that to 13.5. so 13.5 is the front neck depth for the bra. All right, after that we'll click on OK. Okay, I'm going to convert this line to baseline as well. So right click and then select convert to baseline. And we'll log it later. Alright, so after that we will create 2 more internal lines here from the back shoulder slope. Okay, first of all, let's review the guideline a little bit better. Alright, so we right now on to this point here to create front bodice. Okay, so one internal line from top down, which is 13.5, and 2 internal lines from back shoulder slope, which is 1 centimeter, 1.25. All right, so after that we will correct the length of the shoulder slope to match. All right, let me minimize that for now and then get back to CLO. Okay, so we are going to use that edit pattern tool here. Click on the back shoulder slope, right click, and then we want to select offset as internal line. Okay, and we'll change the number offset here to 2, and by default I have distance is individual, and then offset from a selected line. Alright, so after that I'm going to change the value here to 1 centimeter, press on the tab key, and the second value going to be 1.25. Okay, and after that, if I look at the preview here, the internal lines went to opposite direction that I wanted. So I'm going to check on the reverse direction box here So now the internal line came forward. That's what I wanted. Now I'm going to click on OK here to confirm. All right, next I will convert them to baseline. And come over here, click one on the back page right there, right click on that workspace, and I'm going to unlock all baseline, and then right click on that workspace again, and then this time click on lock all baseline. All right, next we are going to draw the shape. Once again, I will use this internal polygon / line tool. Click on the front neck depth and zoom in a little, guys. We want to click one right here on this top internal line. Okay, so actually zoom in as close as possible, and then come down here. We want to click on this low, the internal line right there. Okay, and then we want to click twice here on this bus line to end the line. Okay, so after that we want to correct this internal line right here for the shoulder slope to match. Okay, let's say if I measure this internal line 3.66, that's what we want. We will change this to match this. Okay, so 3.66. Let me write that down because I could forget, to be honest. All right, so next we're going to create a point right here. Simply click on this line here, right click, and we want to select split. All right, so under preview we want to change this side here, the blue side here, to 3.66. Simply highlight this blue line right there, type in 3.66, and then I'm going to click on OK to confirm. Next, zoom in, and then click one right here onto this point. Right click and then select delete points. Okay, now if I check the line here, 3.66, here 3.66, that's perfect. Once again, we are going to create curve for the neck as well as for the armhole. Okay, so this is important. For the armhole to work correctly, we want to create this curve here a little bit deeper compared to the back armhole. So deeper and not deeper down. Okay, so to do that, once again, use this edit curvature tool. This is super useful tool, guys. Simply grab about one third of the length here from the bottom, and then drag it down to create this perfect curve. Simply that much. You don't need to limit too much. It's roughly about a centimeter ish, maybe 1.2. All right, now we're going to create this curve here. Click about one third from the bottom, and then drag it in to create this perfect front neck curve. Okay, just like that. All right, now I'm going to click one on the page here to this leg. There you go. We almost finished with creating the bra pattern for the bra. So I'm going to use the trace tool to trace the pattern so we can turn that into a pattern bra. To do so, first I will use the transform pattern tool. We want to trace the back pattern first. So click one right there, and then switch the tool to trace tool here, and press on shift, and then click right here, right click, and then select trace as a pattern. And I'm going to press on shift here, and then click one right here to place this pattern. Okay, all right, next we're going to make a copy here. I will switch the tool to transform pattern tool. My key selects that pattern there, press on command or control plus letter D, and then press on shift here to place the pattern. Next, I'm going to remove link editing here. Click on the pattern, right click, and then select remove link editing. All right, before we go any further, I'm going to save this pattern. Okay, just in case if the computer crash, we have this point. We'll go to file, and then click on save as project. Okay, and I'm going to name this, how about rose bra, because I create many of these and it's hard to keep track on them. And I'm going to kind of make a copy here. Okay, and come to desktop and select create new folder, and I'm going to paste that name in it just like that, and click on create, and then click on save. There we go. All right, So next we're going to modify this. Okay, so I'm going to turn this into the back pattern and this is the front pattern. To do that, I will use that transform pattern tool and then click one right there on the internal shape and press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Now we have the perfect back pattern. And here the front, a little bit tricky, but it's so easy. So a goal here to keep this internal shape and remove this back pattern. To do that, we'll use this edit pattern tool here. Click on this pattern outline, drag it all the way out, okay? And then we'll use this transform pattern tool, click on the internal shape, right click, and we'll select cut, just like that. And I'm going to click on that extra pattern there, right click, and then select delete. Okay, now we finished creating the bra pattern. Okay, first of all, bra pattern will come with linings as well as bra pad. Also bra trims, of course, like under bust band here, as well as over here we have the band for, okay, let's refer to the real bra here that we want to see. All right, so look at the real bra here. We have right here under bust bra band, as well as right here we have the next bra band for the trim, and also right here we have for the armhole. So these are knitted elastic and we're gonna apply those. Okay, let's minimize that. And first of all, let's go to my data here that I recorded earlier, actually that I created earlier from this bra. So I also have the top stitches and so on. First of all, let's get back to the data for the trim. I want to show you that because we are going to create right here bra pad and create trims. Okay, trim. Next, an armhole band is 0.7 centimeter and the hem band here 2.8. And right here, so after creating the hem, create one internal line from the bottom up to 1.2. Okay, all right, let's minimize that and go back to CLO. So before we continue doing that, let me Command or Control plus F to save. And we also want to arrange the pattern a little bit better too. So just a quick tip, guys. I always save this as a first draft. The entire project going to be the first draft. So what it does is give me the idea, what if I make a mistake, I have the pattern to go off from. And what kind of mistake I make, I can actually double check my work, okay? And to do that, we'll save everything in here. But to save everything in here, let's bring this up here first. So we want to arrange the pattern properly so we can work along that's easy and convenient for us. So right now I have the pattern up here. That pattern, the first dress right there. And I'm going to come over here to this 3D toolbar and click on this reset 2D arrangement all to get all the pattern. First of all, let's move this pattern down here a little bit further and reset that again. And we want to freeze this pattern here. Right click, select freeze, and right click once again, select hide 3D pattern. Okay, so that's important. So what it does when I press on number 2 here, it doesn't mess up the workspace, and that's much useful compared to if we don't hide this part. Alright, so let's zoom into this pattern. So a goal here, we want to create lining for the bra as well as the bra pads and the trim. First of all, let's convert these to a curve point. Here, less point to work with, it's better and more accurate. So convert that to curve point, just like that. Alright, so we also want to remove some line we don't need to. So let's use I'm going to unlock all baseline here for now. And let's remove the line we don't need. So some line we do need, let's say this, we kind of need it for the base line because it is the neck depth. But this line we don't need. I'm going to remove the line we don't need here. And the line we need will kind of shrink them. So press on Shift to select them both and then right click and select Extend/Trim to Pattern Outline. We'll do the same here. So remove the line we don't need. So another tip, guys, making pattern is all about balancing. If your pattern don't balance with one another, it won't look good, but at the same time also it's not comfortable. We want the pattern to be comfortable, well fitted onto your body, as well as look good. Okay, so for the pattern to fit well and look good, it has to be balanced. All right, and next we're going to lock the baseline back here, and after that we're going to unfold this pattern. Okay, I'm going to click one right here, press on shift, click one right here, right click, and we want to select unfold symmetric editing with sewing. So this function is super useful. When we activate this or we use this sewing function, now every time we do anything to one side will affect both. It saves us a lot of time that way. Alright, so next let's create trim. To create trim, first click one right here, press on shift, click one right here, right click, and I'm going to select right here offset as internal line and change the number of offset here to 1 and choose me, and then change the value here to 2.8 and uncheck the reverse direction box and then click on OK. So by default I have both of the internal line are selected. I'm going to hover the mouse on top there, right click, and I'm going to select cuts and sew. Okay, just like that, and let's move them down a little. Will be easier later. Okay, press on shift here so we can get the perfect alignment between this top and this trim. Alright, next I will use this edit pattern tool. So right here, the elastic trim right here 0.7 centimeter, as well as right here, we are going to create that. However though, we want to retract this first. Click on it, then press on shift, click right here, same right here, right click, and then we want to select offset pattern outline. Okay, so I will change this direction here to retract, and then type in the value here 0.7. That's based on the guideline. And if we look at the preview here, now the pattern are retracted to 0.7 centimeter. After that, I will click on OK here to confirm. Alright, so next we're going to create trim for this. Okay, so if we look at once again to this bra right here, we will create this trim, which is elastic trim. And let's get back here. To create the trim here, I will use this measurement tool to measure this length first. Alright, right now it is 18.7. Let's write that down. So 18.7, okay, and I'm going to use the rectangle tool here. Then I'm going to click one right here, type in the width of 18.7, press on the tab key, and the height here 0.7. We want to change the number of shape here to 4, okay, and then click on OK. Alright, so first let's make a copy of this. Command or Control plus letter D to create a copy. I'm going to simply place over here, and let's move this up here. So now we have two right here that fit for the armhole for the front. And okay, let's label this a little bit too. Use the pattern annotation and type in here front. How about that? And then here back. So we don't forget. It's important to measure or to label the pattern. Alright, so we'll make that pretty later if we have time. Okay, now we have the trim for the arm here for the front armhole, left and right. And now we're going to create the necks here. So I'm going to once again use this edit pattern tool and measure this neck here. So I have 17.68, okay, 17.68, we're going to create the trim here to match. I will click right there. I will use the transform pattern tool and then my key select that. Then click on this edge here, I drag it inward, right click. And we want to change right here the width here to match with the next. In this case, 17.68. And next we will click on OK here to confirm. After that, I'm going to use this edit pattern tool and click one right here on the center, right click, and we want to select right here, unfold symmetric editing with sewing. Okay, just like that. And now we create the trim for the front, and I'm going to move it over here a little. After that, we'll work toward the back side. We'll measure the back armhole here. So the back side is 19.36. okay, so 19.36. we're going to change the length here. Simply use the transform pattern tool, click right here, then click on this edge here, drag it inward, right click, and change the width here to match, which is 19.36, and then click on OK. Alright, let's double check here to make sure. So zoom in a little bit further, 19.36, then right here 19.36. Perfect. Now I'm going to make a copy. So click on that piece right there, and then press on Command or Control plus letter D to make a copy. Once again, let's just click one right here to place it, and we want to move this up here, bring that down over here a little, and right here. Alright, so now we have this armhole. Let's move the pattern out a little. So press on Shift here. So okay, I made a mistake here. Instead of move the entire pattern, I move some part. No worry guys, press on Command or Control plus letter Z to undo, and now the pattern works. Now I'm going to try again. Hopefully I don't mess it up this time. Okay, so like that, that's perfect. Alright, let's move it back a little bit further so it looks much better now. And then right here, we're going to bring it down just a little. We will do the next here. Use this edit pattern tool and zoom in. Click one right there. So the measurement here for the back neck is 17.39. okay, so 17.39. I'm going to use the transform pattern tool, my key, select that pattern pieces, and then click on this edge, drag it in, right click, and I'm going to change the width here to 17.39. okay, and after that I will click on OK. Alright, next we'll use this edit pattern tool and click on the center, right click, and then we want to select unfold symmetric editing with sewing. Alright, so there you go. Let me move it a little bit outward so it looks a little bit better. Okay, now next guy, we are going to create internal line right here from here, and then we're also gonna create layer clone under to create the lining as well as the bra pad, and we're almost there, just like that. Alright, so to create the internal line here, we'll use this edit pattern tool, click one right here, right click, and then select offset as internal line, and once again change the value here to 1.2, and then click on OK, and let's convert that to baseline here, and then let lock, unlock, and then right click, lock once again. Alright, so now we are going to create notches right here. So to create notches, I will use this notch tool here, guys. Alright, so let's refer to the guideline here. Alright, so creating notches for bodice front and lining. We want 5 cm from the hem up and 4 cm from the hem up. Okay, we create 2 notches. So we will create the first notch here for the front. Use this notch tool. Hover the mouse over there on this side seam here, right click, and let's move this out of the way. So we want to create the notches from him up. Right here in the yellow line, type in 5 centimeter and then click on OK to confirm. We want to create another notches here. Hover the mouse onto that line, right click, and then this time type in 4 centimeter and then click on OK. And now we're finished. Next, we want to create the lining as well as for this bra pads. Okay, so let's create bra pads first. How about that? I'm going to zoom in here. So CLO has this awesome tool. It's called 3D pen avatar. We can create the pad out from the bra. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so I will use this 3D pen avatar here. Click on it to select, and we'll click one right here and press on Command or Control plus left click here because we want to create the perfect curve. Okay, and after that, when I'm getting to this point, I'm going to release the Command or Control key, then click one right here, and I'm going to click one right there, and then hover the mouse over here, click one onto that point right there that we started earlier to finish. After that, I will switch the tool to this flatten tool here. So click on there, and then hover the mouse on top of that area, and then press on Return Enter on the keyboard to create the pattern. Alright, so it's not yet perfect, but we can improve on that. So come over here to this 2D window, and we'll use this Edit Curvature tool here, and then click and then drag it upward a little to create this curve. So just like that, the curve looks almost perfect. A little more here and looking pretty good. And the side here, I can actually live with that because the sport bra, we want just a pad to cover the area. And then I'm going to switch the tool here to Transform Pattern tool, and I'm going to bring that pad down here closer to this bra pattern. Okay, let's put it down here. Next, I'm going to right click on that pad there, and then I will select this layer clone. I will select this clone as internal shape. Alright, and I'm going to zoom in onto this bra right here, and let's zoom in closer, and we want to place this right on top of that line there and right on top of the center line. Click one right there to place that internal shape. Okay, so next we are going to create a copy of this entire bra pattern here for the front, turn into a lining. All right, to do that, we'll click on that pattern there, right click, and then select layer clone under. Okay, just like that, and I'm going to press on shift here, click one right there to place the pattern. All right, we're almost there. Next, we want to remove the sewing. So by default, when we create layer clone under or layer clone over, it's come with the sewing. It's really useful, but sometimes we don't need that sewing. I will use this edit sewing tool right there. My key selects this under clone, under layer right there, and then I will press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Alright, next we will make a copy for this pad here. Simply click on that, and then click on the bra pad. I will press on Command or Control plus letter D to create a copy, and let's press on shift here, click one right there to place the bra pad. Alright, so after that, I'm going to move the bra pad by using this function here. Is called reset to the all arrangement. Now we all have the pattern match from 3D to 2D, just like that. Alright, next let's press on number 2 here. So we don't need this shape anymore. Let's remove it. To remove it, use this again, this 3D pen avatar editing tool, and then click on it to select. And I'm going to press on Command or Control plus letter A to select all that shape, and then press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Let me press on number 2 here. Alright, now let's see what else we need for the bra pattern. So we have the pads, we have the lining, we have the bra pattern, and we have the trim. Alright, so we just finished created this perfect bra pattern. However though, we want to sew them and then fitting them onto the avatar. Alright, to do that, first I'm going to, let's save it one more time to be safe. Always constantly saving, guys. It's just super useful. Okay, so next we are going to place this pattern onto the avatar as well as sew it. To place the pattern, first let's come over here. First of all, switch the tool to select / smooth tool, and then come over here to the vertical toggle menu, and then click on the show arrangement point, and we are going to place this front pattern first. Okay, my key selects both of the pattern pieces, hover the mouse over the avatar, and click one to place, click one right here, and I'm going to rotate to the back pattern, and then my key select both of the back pattern here, and then hover the mouse over the avatar, click one to place. Alright, next we're going to sew this. Okay, so we want to sew this front and back bra plus trim together first. Okay, to do that I will use this free sewing tool. So the good thing about that, we only need to sew one side because the patterns are linked together. We only need to sew one side and then both sides are affected. Alright, just like that. And let's see if we miss anything. Alright, the sewing looking pretty good. Let's strengthen the pattern, guys. So when I simulate, some of these patterns going to fall down here, or I can freeze them or activate them. So in this case, let's deactivate them or freeze them. So I will select freeze here so they don't. So be careful though, make sure this pattern here not sewn to any of this, because if they sew onto this, you're gonna mess this pattern up. So for me, I probably leave it unfreeze. So I'm going to unfreeze it. So what happened when we simulate, let's give it a try. If I click on the simulation icon, and by the way guys, we only simulated halfway, okay? So click on that simulation icon and then stop. Don't go it all the way, and then simulate it again, okay? And then stop. So what happened, now you look at all the pattern here, they fall down here. So no worry, because the pattern is so small, it won't affect that much when we place them back onto the avatar. Okay, I will show you the tip on how to do it. So what we're gonna do here, we'll sew this trim to the bra. And to sew, first of all, let's sew this lining to the front bodice first. So I'm going to click on that lining there, and I will use the, once again, free sewing tool. And we want to sew from this notch up right here, because right here, this is where we're going to insert the bra pad onto the bra. Alright, so we're going to begin sewing from the low notch up, hover the mouse around it, around here, and then down to this low notch there, click one to stop, and we'll do the same here from the low notch up, just like that, and then down here to stop. Alright, next we'll use the transform pattern tool, and we'll click one right there on this lining and come over here to this 3D window and hover the mouse onto the gizmo, right click, and then we'll select superimpose under. Okay, and just like that, now the lining lay perfect beneath the front bodice. Next, we want to sew the bra pad onto this lining. To do so, once again, we will use this free sewing tool. Click one right here, and then hover the mouse around these pads, click one to end, and then do the same here onto the internal shape, and then click one to end. And I'm going to use the transform pattern tool my key select both of these paths here, and then come to this 3D window, hover the mouse over that path right there onto this gizmo, right click, and this time we want to superimpose over. Okay, and let's simulate. First of all, let's unstrengthen these linings and the paths. Okay, and let's simulate. Okay, so we have an issue here. A path is stuck above this bra, so we're going to simply click on that path right there, right click, and try to select superimpose over again and see if it works. No, it doesn't. Alright, so we can fix this issue. Simply arrange this layer. So if I click on this layer right now, and right there, this is layer 0, and this should be layer 1, and this should be layer 2. Okay, let's arrange that layer. So if we look at under the guideline here, I'm going to show you. So under rendering, we have this. If necessary, arrange front pattern layer from 0, which is the front, under, which is lining, and then layer 1 for paths, and layer 2 for the front top borders. Okay, let me minimize that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So first layer, if we click on here, this is lining, and we come to the property editor, let's go to layer, right here layer 0, that is perfect. We want to change this path here to layer 1. Okay, change that to layer 1, press on return enter on the keyboard, and then click on OK here to confirm. It just let us know that when we done with the garment, be sure to change all the layer back to 0. Okay, and now I'm going to click on this pattern right here, and then come to property editor and change this layer to 2, and then press on return enter on the keyboard, and then click on OK. Alright, so next I'm going to simulate one more time, and now the issue is fixed. I'm going to stop the simulation here, and let's save it. Okay, so now I'm going to let unstrengthen here, so we get to see the garment a little bit better. See right here, when we have the green fabric color, show that we have different layer for the garment. So I'm going to, my key selects all the pattern pieces, and come over here to this layer, and then change them all back to 0, and press on return or enter on the keyboard to confirm. And now we are here back to normal. Alright, next we want to sew the trim on to the bra. Alright, to do that, first let's expand that 2D window a little, and we'll use this segment sewing tool, and we'll sew this armhole first right there, and then we'll sew this the next here, and once again the armhole and the neckband. Alright, next we are going to place that trim onto the garment. I will use this transform pattern tool. My key selects all these trims here, and come back to this 3D window, and hover the mouse over that gizmo right there, right click, and I will select superimpose side. Okay, let's zoom in here and tilt it down a little, and let's simulate. And this time we'll let it simulate a little bit longer. Okay, stop the simulation, and let bring it down a little, and I'm going to strengthen this trim here, and right click on the trim, and then superimpose side once again, and then simulate. Alright, this time much better. Okay. So I'm going to stop the simulation here, and let's change that particle distance here to a little bit lower. Let's change it to 10 for now, and then press on return enter on the keyboard, and simulate again. So the smaller the particle distance, the lesser of the fabric kind of tangle to one another. Let's stop the simulation for now, and we want to sew this here. Alright, so I will use the segment sewing tool, and let's click right here and right here to sew to. Same right here. Alright, and I'm going to simply click on that edit sewing tool. I'm going to click on that sewing, see if I'm going to right click and then select reverse sewing. So now my sewing is correct, not tangle. And after that I will look right here too. And let's simulate, see if it's all correct. Alright, yeah, the sewing now is correct. I'm going to let's sew down here as well. Stop the simulation and use the segment sewing tool, and we'll sew right here to right here. Okay, now simulate once again. Okay, stop the simulation. Okay, so next we want to apply the fabric as well as elastic onto this bra. So let me say a little bit first. Command or Control plus letter S, and we want to apply fabric and elastic. So CLO have this property elastic, which is really awesome. We can actually apply the entire trim right there with the elastic property. Okay, to do that we'll come over here. So first of all, let's apply the fabric. We'll come over here to this library tab here, and then double click on that fabric folder, and I'm going to type in knit here and then press on return enter on the keyboard. By the way guys, this data is all in the guideline. Okay, so I'm going to select these knits right here. So we want to select knit cotton jersey. Simply click. I'm going to change my the fabric property kind of change a little bit to knit rather than default. I'm going to stop that simulation right there and click on this fabric. Okay, first of all, let's unstrengthen all these for now. Strengthen and then select unstrengthen here, and then click on this fabric right there. I'm going to change the color. Okay, so scroll down here on the property editor and then click on this color chip right there, and let's type in under the search box here cream, and then press on return or enter on the keyboard. I'm going to click one right here on the cream color and then click on apply and close. Okay, next I'm going to apply the elastic onto the bra trim. To do so, we'll come over here to this fabric folder and click on the sub menu, and we see elastic right here. Click on the elastic folder. I'm going to click on this knit elastic, drag and drop onto this. Alright, so I'm going to change that to elastic hems. Okay, and next I'm going to zoom in a little and marquee select both of these band right here, and then click on this assign button right there to assign the elastic. Alright, and if I click on the elastic once again and come down here on the property editor, we want to change the strength and stiffness. Change the strength here to 90, then press on return enter on the keyboard. By default I have stiffness here for 70, which is perfect. That's what I want. One more thing we need to do though. So we want to change the grain direction. Let's refer to a guideline here. Come under elastic. Okay, so elastic property, we change the grain direction here to 90 degree. That's what we need to do. And the hem here is 90 by 70. That is perfect. And right here 40 by 30 for the armhole and the neckband. Alright, let's go do that. So to change the grain direction here, we want to marquee select just that hem there. Okay, that band there, sorry, and then come to property editor. We want to come down here until we see fabric. Change this grain direction here to 90. And then press on return enter on the keyboard to confirm. Alright. So another thing I want to do here, let's come over here to this fit map here, and we want to select stress map. So if you see right now, the property of the elastic can apply onto the trim already, and the top is not yet. So if I simulate right now here, the trim turn red, it means that the fitting for that trim there a little tight, and that's what we want, because elastic should grab onto a skin more so than up here, because up here going to be looser, and that's what we want. And up here we need a little bit tighter by applying more elastic onto it. Okay, so to do that, I will stop the simulation icon for now, and then come over here, click on that elastic right there. Let's change the color of the elastic first, so we don't have to do it twice. Okay, change the color elastic, click on the elastic right there, scroll down under property editor, and we want to click on this color right there, and let's change it to somewhat lighter compared to the color that we want. So for example, right here we have this color. If I click and then drag it down here to somewhat a little bit lighter. So for example, if I use this eyedropper, however, let me cancel that out. Let's remove this stress map for now, so we get to see the color of the garment. And if we want to change this color here, click on the knit elastic, and then click on this color chip. Now we can use this eyedropper tool, and then click on this fabric right here to pick the color from, and then press on the escape key here, and we want to have it a little bit lighter, maybe that much lighter, to give this realistic effects. And we want to save that color for later. To save that color for later, I can click on this plus sign here, and then now that color is saved, and I will click on apply and close. Alright, so next we're going to create one more elastic so we can apply onto this trim here. So we'll click on the elastic right there, click on copy, and then I'm going to change the name here to next and arm for now. And after that, my key select all these trim here, and then click on this assign button right there to assign the elastic to it. Alright, we'll change the property of the elastic here. Click on the elastic, scroll down. We want to change the strength here to 40. Then press on the return enter on the keyboard, and then change the stiffness to 30. Then press on the return or enter here, and now let's simulate this again, and that's it. So how it do, if I stop the simulation, you see right here it doesn't fit right, so we have to change the grain direction here. So if I come over here, let's expand the 2D window. Okay, so right here kind of crinkle, I'm going to my key select just that fabrics, and then come over here to this property editor, and we want to change grain direction here to 90, and then press on return enter on the keyboard, and then let's simulate again. So as you can see right here, now the trim fit perfectly onto the avatar. Let's stop the simulation for now. Okay, and after that, I'm going to kind of expand here a little bit and check the bra, see what we need. So we apply the elastic, we apply the fabric. Next we want to apply top stitches as well as rendering the bra itself. Also we want to do this. So if I look down here under top stitches, under rendering, we also want to change the avatar to nude as well as change the skin offset to 1. So right now I'm going to minimize this and let apply let's apply the top stitches onto the bra. So to do that, I'm going to simply expand this a little. So right here, we want to apply zigzag top stitches on the band as well as on the side here. To do that, I will use this free top stitch tool. Okay, click on it to select, and I'm going to simply click one right here, click one right here, the end, and then I'm going to click one right here, and then click one right here on this bottom notch, okay, to apply the top stitches. And after that, I will come over here, click on that top stitch there, and I'm going to change the name here to zag hems, and then size. Alright, so I'm going to continue with this for next week, guys. Right now it is time for me to say goodbye, and I just want to wish you guys have a great weekday from around the world. Right now here from Albania and European area, it is evening, and I hope you guys have a great weekday. And remember to go check, even though you don't purchase the bra, but go check and find out more the bra itself, because right here we have the bra link under the video. When you click on it, you will see more detail about this bra, and guys, it's super comfortable. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will continue with this tomorrow. No, excuse me, not tomorrow. I will continue with this next live session.